Hello everyone, welcome to Programming Pool channel. In this video, I'll talk about control flow using if, else, and switch statements. We will start with theory part as usual, then we will do some coding. But before we dive into the concepts, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you will not miss any upcoming videos. Let's get started. What is control flow or decision making? As we know, Java executes the code from top to the bottom. However, Java provides us a statements to control the flow of code. It is basically controlling what statements or block of code to execute after evaluating a Boolean expression. A Boolean is true or false. There are two ways to control flow in Java: if statements or switch statements. If statement. An if is a single selection structure. As we evaluate the Boolean condition, either will select to run the code or the block of code or will ignore it. For example, if brackets Boolean expression will be evaluated to either true or false. If it is true, it will continue with the block of code. If it is false, it will skip it and move after the line, after the closing brackets here. Did you see the curly brackets? It will move on to the next line. All right. If statement, as we mentioned, is executed when the expression is valued to true. What if we want to execute another block of code if the statement or the evaluation expression goes to false? So the solution is if else statement. In this example here, if expression, if it evaluate to true, it will execute this line of code, then it will move on to after else block. If the expression is false, then it will ignore the block of code here and will come to else block and will execute. All right. What if we want to check multiple cases or checking multiple conditions to see if one of them is true, then execute a block of code. Then we have if else if statements. For example, if we have expression 1, if it is true, we'll execute. If it is false, it will go to the second checking, which is else if. Expression 2, if it is false, it will ignore it and go to else statement or else block. If it is true, it will execute the second block here, and then after finishing executing, it will ignore the else and go to the next line here. All right. When we use if statements, we have some relational operators using to evaluate or in the expression. For example, we have the equal sign. Two assignment operators together, it means equal to. For example, if A equals B. Now, the greater operator, greater than, the example is if A is greater than B. Greater than or equal to, if A greater than or equal to B. Now, we have smaller than, if A is smaller than B. We have smaller or equal. We have not equal to, if A not equal to B. In Java, we have another type of operators called logical operators. We have three of them: and, or, and not. The sign of and is two double and or is double pipe, and the exclamation mark, or whatever it's called. For and, when we use expression 1a and expression 2b, in order to both evaluate to true, both of the expressions must be true. Whereas in or, we have expression 1 or expression 2. So one of them must be true to evaluate to true. If uh, if first expression is true, then Java will not even look at expression B because it will be evaluated to true anyway. And not operator, for example, if A is smaller than b, all right, then this expression is true. But when we put exclamation mark or not operator here, it will evaluate to false. All right, this one is to opposite the evaluation. So if the expression is true, will be false. If it is false, will be true. All right. Moving on to switch statement. Now, switch statement has the same purpose as if statement, but we are doing it in different way, and you will have some cases that choosing switch statement is better option than if statement. For example, if you have a value like a name, some value, and you want to have like 7 or 6 options, so using switch statement is better way to do it. So how you can write switch statement, switch the keyword switch, then in the bracket you can put the like name or expression here, the curly bracket, closing, opening and closing. Now we have case value 1. Case is the keyword, and value 1 is like, for example, string, or like whatever is name, whatever this expression has value to. For example, name is some value. So case 1, if case value 1 is some value, then the code, this code block will execute, and we have a break here. Okay, and we have case 2, which is value 2, and you can put as many cases as you can or you want, and the default is executing when neither of all these cases are matched with the expression. All right, and notice we have a break, and the reason we put break after each case and not default each case, because once we have a value that is matching with expression, we want to break the switch statement. We don't want to evaluate the next expression. If you take a break, then even if the value is matching with expression, it will execute the second one too. All right, be careful, don't forget the break. And this default is optional, you cannot put it, but it is good to put it just in case if you have a case that there is no matching with any of cases. All right. Now here is an example. String name equals assign it to Nabil. Switch name. Case name John. Do something and break. Case George. Do something. Break. Case Nabil. Do something. So that this line of code will execute and break. Default, it will happen when neither of these cases will match the name label. If we have John, George, or like Michelle or Michael, then we don't have any cases matching with the name. The default block will execute. And with the default, you don't have to put a break because it is the last option anyway. Now let's go to the IDE and start coding. Now open your project in IntelliJ, and let's start with the first if or simple if select statement. Put int age equals 10 or 18. Let's check if the age is uh, greater or equal to 18, so the person can enter the clock. So if age is greater or equal than or to 18, brackets is out, your age is plus age plus you can enter the clock. So let's run the code. See, your age is 18. So that means the expression is evaluated to true. So the block of code is executed. Let's put a false. Let's put it 15. Now run the code. Nothing executed. All right. Now let's implement the second the second option, which is when we have when evaluated the expression to false, that we need to another thing to execute by adding else, or you can add it the next line else out your age is age very young. You can't enter. Now let's run the code. Your age is 15, very young, you can't enter. If we put it 19 again, execute it, your age is 18. So now what is happening here? So first is checking for this condition, that if it is true, then it will execute this code and then it will ignore the second block. If it's false, then it will go to the else. All right, then it will go to the next line. All right, and in this case here, it is true, the first block, then it is executing. All right, now let's have another case when we have multi selections. All right, let's put if, or like int time equals like 10. Now if time is smaller than 10, prints out good morning. Now else if time is smaller than 18, it's out good afternoon. Else it's out, we have third option, good evening. All right, now in this case, what will happen here, it will check the first expression. If it is true, we'll execute this line of code and then it will go to the next line here at the end. Here is next line. If it is false, then we'll come to the next one. I will check it. If it's true, we'll execute this line of code. If it's false, it will go to else. All right, now let's run the code. Good afternoon. Because the first expression is false, because 10 is equal, it's not greater. All right, then it is false, then it will come into the next one and it is good afternoon. If we put it like 11, or if we put it 9, good morning. Now if we put it 11 again, it will print good afternoon. Now if we put 19, it will print good evening. Whatever cases or number of cases you have, it is a good idea to test it before moving on to the next thing. All right, now let's use a logical operator. Int age equals 10 if age is greater than 0 and age is smaller than or equal to 16, sys out he is child, else if age is greater than 16 and age is smaller or equal than 30, out he is adult, else out he is old aged adult. All right, now we are using the logical operator and, so we are combining two expressions in one expression. With and, both of them must be true in order to evaluate the whole expression to true. All right, now let's run the code. So he is child because age is 10. Now if I put 17, all right, now he's adult. If I put 40, now he is old aged adult. We can use the or. If let's put int number signed 1 if number equals to 1 or number equals to 3, put this out, accepted, else not this out, not accepted. Now with or, any of these two conditions matched, so that evaluate the whole expression will evaluate it true. Okay, so he's looking for either first one is true or the second one is true, and I will show you. Now run the code. So accepted because it's 1. If I put 3, if I put 3, now run the code, it is accepted. Now if I put 2, because it's neither these expressions, it will not accept it, not accept it. Now let's try the last logical operator. Now if we put the whole expression in the bracket and put the exclamation mark here, you can see. Now let's run it. Now you can see it printed accepted, even if the expression is false. And why is that? Because of not operator. Once the expression is evaluated to true, it will transfer it to false because is not. So we are checking if the expression is not true. Now if I put 1, so the expression is evaluated to true, it will be false. Now for another code, you can see not accept. All right, and this is important too to notice. Now last thing in the video, we will do the switch statement. Switch, or like let's create IntelliJ sign it for switch. With a switch, you can't use the relational operators or like the logical one. Okay, you put just day. You can't put like day is greater than 5 or something like that. Okay, that doesn't work. And if you hover over it with your selection boolean is not supported. Okay, you only put a value and put it in the brackets. Now case, and put the value of this case. Okay, case, the value is like 3. Okay, or case the value is 1. And notice that if the type is int, the type should be here int. You can't put string. All right, change the type. It is int, should be the same type. Case 1 is out, it is Monday. Case 2, it is Tuesday. Now I'm done typing. I didn't put the break between the cases. Now look at what will happen. It is Thursday, and this happened because the last case was matched. All right. Now if I put, let's say 1, right? So it is Monday, it is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And why is that? Because we didn't put a break. Okay, now we should put a break in between each case so you will not have this type of error. All right, now you run the code, it is Monday. If you change it to 2, it is Tuesday. Now that it's optional to put a default. All right, it's out, not applicable, and you can't put a break here, but it's not necessary because it is the last case anyway. All right, it's not necessary the default one. It will not execute unless there is no case match. Now it is Tuesday. So if we put number 5 and there is no case matching, put it here, not applicable. All right. And here is how you use switch. With implementing switch statement, we are done for today's video. We learned about control flow and decision making using if, else, and switch statements. You can practice yourself using single if selection, or like the multiple selection, or like if else selection. You can use switch to write a simple program like this, like switch between days, between colors or so. It is good to practice because programming is all about practicing. In the next video, we will talk about taking inputs from user, and we will use scanner class, which is one of the external libraries that we installed in the first video. Thank you for watching. See you next video.